Now this is Hollywood Unlocked. What up, everybody? This is Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored. I'm Jason Lee.
I'm Melissa Ford, aka the Curve Queen.
Yeah, it was DJ Damage.
And I am having anxiety.
Breathe, Jason.
I
Breathe.
don't know how I'm having anxiety when I just came off of a 1 hour live with Iyanla Van Zandt on the Quarantine Chronicles on Hollywood Unlocked. I'm stressed out.
Why?
Okay, well, I want to hear about that because I didn't get a chance to check in with that because I was doing research on our hot topics. However, let me tell you what you need to do. This is
What?
a Navy SEALs
What?
breathing technique,
Oh
okay?
God, here we
You
go.
you breathe in through your nose and you count to 4.
I
Full
can't.
lung
It's too much.
capacity,
It's too much.
full lung
He already
capacity.
gave up.
And then you breathe out, counting to 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4 out through your
Listen,
mouth.
I
And
didn't
for that,
even
like,
do this when I got shot. Okay, I quit, and
I
that
actually,
and the thought of counting while I'm breathing is more anxiety.
I actually do that when I'm trying to lose my hiccups. I do that breathing technique.
oh no, you want to know what you do for hiccups? You take a spoonful of sugar.
Oh wow,
No, no,
that'll
no,
kill you.
no, because we're trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. I've been trying to. You know how long I think I've been trying to lose weight longer than I've been alive.
Shut
You
up.
know, and the thing that's so frustrating, like, Iyanla, when we were on live, people were like saying mean things about me. I don't like him, or he's me, he's this, he's that, whatever. And Iyanla was like, right now is not the time to be hating on nobody. Like, right now is
Right.
the time to be putting out positive energy. There are still people who are trolling during the coronavirus. Why can't they catch it? That's what I don't
But
understand.
you know it's deep because Dame Dash said this. He said he appreciates the hate because it helps you recognize love. So if it wasn't for so much hate, you wouldn't know you got all this love in the building right here.
Listen,
That's true.
God is my armor. I am good. I am not. I don't let the haters do anything with me. In fact, I'm creating more content for their asses. I'm now in the process of developing my own late night YouTube show, and we are buying all the equipment and making our digital stuff and our sound. And this shit's gonna be so lit.
That's
And
fire.
and when they get the information, they're just gonna gag. That's all I can say. So it's
Mm-hmm.
coming.
Fuck the haters. Yeah.
But it's just like right now is not the time. First, I want to say to everybody out there, hopefully you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and where else? iHeart.
I
Just
heart.
wherever you've been listening to us, keep listening to us there and keep sharing it. But we're doing this show not because we have nothing to do, but that is a part of it. The other part is that you guys keep showing up, and we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that the audience keeps tuning in because this show has been through so much. I tell you, it's this is now the show has to survive coronavirus.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people, they need the distraction from what what's happening in the world and their lives and at home. We just posted up this our last topic on I'm Here for the Food. We were talking about the spike in domestic
Oh
violence
yeah.
complaints, and I predicted that shit like 3 weeks ago. You're gonna be quarantined with your abuser, and then there's kids out of school, so there's no
Mhm.
mandatory reporting. So there's been a drop in calls to child abuse and neglect hotlines, but that doesn't mean that the abusers stop like beating up on their kids. So like there's people are really trying to
Yeah.
escape
And,
not their reality,
and I feel
so
really bad for all those men out there that's getting beat up by their girlfriends, man. Because I hear about it time and time again. I'm seeing it being posted about. It's a lot of women beating up on their boyfriends.
Damage, are you being serious right
I am
now?
being serious. Everybody thinks it's just guys beating up women. There are women smacking the shit out of their husbands and boyfriends every day. It's an epidemic.
Listen, let's be clear. Domestic violence does go both ways.
Hmm.
My grandmother used to beat up on my grandfather, and she was very abusive to him. And so, yeah, shout out to all the men that are enduring. And also, it's one thing when you wake up to your partner that has bad breath, but I know like weaves have not been getting done lately. And I mean, but this is where if you're fighting with your partner, this is where you take her outside and you sit down and you say, "Now that I'm speaking to you for real,
Mhm.
let's talk."
Jason, why does your hair look lined up? Like, did you
Because I
sneak
got a
your barber
haircut.
in? Huh?
Yep, sure did. But let
Oh.
me be very clear. Hold on, let me be very clear because we're not gonna do quarantine shaming. We're not gonna do that. Let me say this. My barber does come to my house in full hazmat, and I'm gonna say damage, damage. Back up from the camera a little bit. No, back up just a little bit because Damage got to line up too.
Yeah, I got a little cleanup.
I'm a snitch. If I'm gonna get shamed, Damage did it too.
But let's be clear here. The barber is one of the most cleanest professions you got. They always got to use Lysol, alcohol. They have all the equipment, ready for Corona before this coronavirus started. They have rubbing
It's
alcohol,
not it's not the
91%.
barber that's the problem. It's how many clients is he taking that are not taking quarantine
Everything's been
precautions.
Lysol down.
Wait, now while he was
Great.
cutting my hair, he did touch my face to line me up. And although he had gloves and a mask on, I went the fuck off on him. Now, I will say, I also had my housekeeper come over, and let me explain that.
Hey.
Now, she sneezed. She almost became unemployed. Now, there's a lot
Oh
of
my
people out there
God.
fighting unemployment, and I had to, I don't never have to check my people, but I was like, girl, like now I have to get my humidifiers and mystify my whole place here because you might have left Corona on the bed.
Oh
But
God.
sneezing has nothing to do with Corona. That's
Yes, it
allergy.
does. No, but no.
No.
That's like a motherfucker that's sliding you raw talking about, oh, that bump is just,
Oh,
time. No, you left that bump here when you came over knowing what you had. You may sneeze and the corona's deep in your lung.
Oh,
And then now it's all on my bedspread.
oh
No,
my
fuck it.
God. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna pray for you, Jason, that your housekeeper did not bring corona into the
No, you
house.
better pray for her because if she did, Jason's going to be in cell block 32.
Mm, mm. Jail's not the place for you. They're letting people out of there too.
they letting people free.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say, right, since we're on this topic, I'm actually working on getting a friend of mine out of prison in Kansas. He's in Lansing Correctional Facility. I've been working with the governor's office, Laura Kelly. She's a new Democratic governor. She's big on prison reform, but I will tell you, I'm learning more and more about how fucked up the system really is. How within the system there's so many clogs, and
Mm-hmm.
the system, when they say it's broken, it's so, I know, a aha moment. But having gone through the processes of having him fill out his paperwork, this man was living in Stockton. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Dante Westmoreland. He was living in Stockton. He was raising his two brothers with his grandmother. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a job. He decided he wanted to sell marijuana. This was before all the legislation on
All the
uh,
reforms.
all the reforms on legalizing marijuana. He went to Kansas. He got caught with a pound of marijuana and got sentenced to 8 years in prison. His first time ever having been in contact with the law. He's already served 3 years and he's now serving another 5 years. So I just started with like calling saying, hey, you're big on prison reform. Here's one example that we can work together on. This was while Kim Kardashian was doing her thing, but I wasn't doing it
Mm-hmm.
for the public. I was doing it on the low.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now what's happened is he's applied for clemency 3 times. They keep losing his paperwork. They keep
Mm.
mismanaging who's supposed to be pointed. So finally, I called the governor's office and I went off and I said, I'm going to fly to Kansas. I'm going to start investigating, interviewing, and whatever, and go public with it. And so then they put me to the Secretary of Prisons. And so now what's happening is they're now harassing him in the prison. He used to go out and talk to kids about not committing crimes. Now they're going
Mm-hmm.
and saying the governor's office is calling, looking all in our business. Now they're harassing him. And so now I've like turned it up a notch, and now I'm going to come public. I'm going to actually post on Hollywood Unlocked about it and just ask people to tag the governor. And just I got a call from our office yesterday because I texted him saying, "Yo, I'm about to like get off of y'all asses." And I
Mm-hmm.
and I just think about the many people in prison. And Melissa, you're far more intellectual and understanding of like the history of prison systems and all that. But I could only imagine the people who are in prison, whose family members are in prison, who feel powerless, who have no resources, who have no platforms, who have nobody to advocate for them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost
Yeah.
like you just give them away to the
Yeah.
prison, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, it's more than just, when you're convicted of a crime and you go to jail, you lose your civil liberties. No, you become an animal. Like you're subhuman and you're treated as such. And so, I think it's fantastic what you're doing for your friend. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why anybody's languishing away in jail since legislation has changed to legalize marijuana. Anybody that has been convicted
Mm-hmm.
for the sale of marijuana and whatever else, I still cannot figure out how they justify keeping them behind bars. I
Well,
just don't get it.
I could tell you because they make money off of them. It was a
I
post I've
mean,
seen.
you're right. The prison industrial complex, it,
Yeah,
it
it's
is an
crazy.
industry. It is
I
a
was
fucking industry. Free labor, it is an industry. Yes. So
I
that is
watched
why they're kept
this
there.
video on social media is going around. This guy, his bunkie, I guess, in prison has the coronavirus and he's covered up and he's trying to cover him with a mask. And he was like, they're letting everybody out quote unquote, that have nonviolent offenses, but a lot of us are still here because they're making money off of us. And he's doing this
Wow.
illegally with his cell phone in jail, showing
Hmm.
where they're putting the dead bodies. He's like, I came in here for like, panhandling drugs. He's like, but they're not letting me out, and they're not letting a lot of people out. They want to keep us here because they make money off of us. So a lot of us are dying. It's a crazy thing going on with the jail. So Jason, what you're doing, man, I salute that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's really selfless. I'm not doing it for press. I don't, I'm not doing it for that. I'm asking the public to actually help me. I was on live talking, and there's an organization that's actually focused on helping to get people out of prison who are in prison for marijuana offenses. And like a pound of marijuana, okay, great, he sold drugs, and that's wrong. That was wrong at the time. We can debate whether or not marijuana was a drug or not. But a pound of marijuana, first time offender, 8 years in prison. Like, I just
Insane.
don't even understand how that's reasonable. And I'm really disappointed that the governor's office, by the way, I'm going to put the number right here to the governor's office. If you have time, call and demand that they respond to me. I don't understand why they're not taking it serious. Now, when I first called as a concerned citizen, let me tell you how they tried me. I
Mm.
first called and I said, "Hey, my name is Jason Lee. I'm calling about such and such." They really were rude, dismissive, putting me off, not calling
Hmm.
me back. Finally, I got somebody in the call. I would call the governor's office. I said, "Let me fucking explain something to you, who the fuck I am. Stop what you're doing and go on Insta fucking Gram and look up the only Jason Lee, or Google Jason Lee Loving Hip Hop, whatever you want to Google." Like, because
Cause you about to get this motherfucking smoke.
you gonna get the smoke. And then I could tell they were Googling me while they were on the phone. And then the tone changed. And then I got the chief of staff of the governor. But it's still like you playing these games. And like now with COVID-19 damage, like you were saying that video, people in prisons are like, they have no protections. We have
Nothing.
vitamins, we have teas, we have water, we have our homes. These people are bunked up with the disease. It's
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary.
Woo.
And also, I was just looking online the other day and I saw the physical line to apply for unemployment in Florida. It
Insane.
was terrifying. It looked like the modern day Great Depression. I remember seeing photographs back in 1929 and 1930 of people lined up for, jobs, lined up to file for, lined up just for food. And that's exactly what it looked like. And you saw anarchy breaking out. People were fighting, people were yelling and screaming. Some were
Mhm.
wearing masks, some weren't. There was no 6 foot distance rule employed there. And then you see people in Wisconsin lined up in order to try to vote. Like, oh my God. Every day I wake up with thinking to complain about something. I have got to keep reminding myself, Melissa, you are so blessed in comparison to so many people out there.
Well, and
And
that
anybody just sitting at home thinking, oh, I'm so bored, I'm worried about that. No, it could be so much worse. It
Well,
could.
interesting you say that, because speaking to Iyanla today on Hollywood Unlocked for Quarantine Chronicles, she actually said something very similar about it. I'm going to just put that clip in right here.
For me, the corona is the corona. It's here, and we know what to do to protect ourselves. But the biggest enemy right now is fear, fear and stress. And I keep saying to people, what are you afraid of? It's here. Are you doing what you need to do to take care of yourself? Your mask, your hand washing, not, congregating out in the world. It's here. It's nothing to be afraid of. Okay, protect yourself, and do the best you can. But the stress and the stress weakens your immune system. So you've got to give yourself permission to have it, to have the fear, to have the stress, to have the anger. Don't deny it or suppress it, because that's what will weaken your immune system. You just don't want to buy real estate there. You don't want to be there for the week and start decorating.
Yeah, so I mean, she basically said that, I mean, we need to just not let it rent space in our head, not let it take over our body, not let it take over our lives. Because I think part of the stress that I have isn't necessarily that I caught it, like the anxiety I'm feeling now.
Hmm.
It's all the reports I'm watching online. It's people losing everything, or at least seemingly losing everything. And what I tried to say today was like, okay, if Iyanla was saying, like, think about the job that you had not being there anymore when this is over, because that's probably likely, right? How
Hmm.
do you spend this time creating your new normal, your new
Hmm.
opportunity, the passion that you had the vision that you always had? Are you making your vision board? Are you staying creatively busy to where your mind isn't spiraling in a situation that you can't control? And I keep thinking about that, but like you were saying with that line, when you look online and you see how many people are losing their job, or you're calling family members and saying, hey, has your boss allowed you to take that emergency FMLA so you could
Mhm.
work at home?
Mhm.
It's very devastating. And
It's
one
heavy.
one last thing somebody said was, you guys think it's tough now? Shit, it was tough in the 60s. Every one of
Mhm.
our leaders was getting assassinated.
Mhm.
There were a lot of civil rights movement,
Mhm.
and I guess this is really a testament of our strength and our faith and our endurance. And it's a reset on everybody that thought they was lit with their Louboutins and their this and this and
Oh
then their
yeah,
fake asses. And I'm at the club with
it's
bottles.
crazy.
How lit are you now?
The only person I will say is lit is I just saw the May cover of Architectural Digest and it's Drake's home. Did you see that motherfucking shit?
Woo!
I have a message from Drake on MySpace that said, "When I come to LA, can I stay at your house?" I'm gonna find it.
You're lying.
Well, he don't need that shit
First
no
of all,
more. His house looks like a hotel. The
how are you
whole thing. Like,
how are you gonna
wow.
find a MySpace message,
I
Jason?
have my MySpace account. I can still log in and it's still
It's still
there.
a thing? You're lying.
Yeah, my MySpace account is still there. I'm gonna go get that and post it because at this point, Drake, I need to be in your house. Like I
Wow.
need to stay in your house.
Wow.
But
Apparently Joe Buttons can't even get in the house.
well,
I don't know.
let's drop a couple pictures while we're talking, so you can
Yeah.
see this lavish nigga. He even got a Birkin. We know you ain't got that Birkin. You ain't wearing that Birkin nowhere.
I
Why,
mean,
Drake?
lavish isn't even the word. You have to come up with a whole different lexicon in order to discuss Drake's house. Like listen, I'm not easily impressed. I've been kicked out of hotter shit that shit is bomb.
I've been
Wow.
kicked out of outer shit.
But let me say, I do have to say, it made me so happy for him. Like I remember even before the world knew who Drake was, I remember how excited he
Mhm.
was for he in the message on MySpace, he said, "This album I'm working on with Wayne is gonna be iconic," or something like that. And he was like,
Mhm.
"Watch." And the fact that he literally manifested his dreams and he's living them out. I mean, and to be young, fly, now a dad, to have his career be at the top of the game, be so respected. I'm happy for him. Like, I'm not a
Yeah.
hater whatsoever. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
a message for everybody out there because a lot of people are losing their jobs. They're creating their new normal, man. You just got to go hard. Don't give up. Like anything is possible. Use this time to build and work on a craft. Find yourself. Do not fall into that slump of misery because I know it's hard. A lot of us got kids. A lot of us are taking care of our family with this money that we might be losing. But there's a time to create our new normal. So let's turn up.
And find
Mhm.
your way of staying calm. My way, like as I work through like right now, I'm getting chills. So like I'm wondering, okay, is
Oh
that
my
a
god. Just
symptom?
turn the heat up, Jason.
Is that a
Shit.
I
It's
no,
symptom?
chilly here in LA.
I think it's the heat that's making me hot, which is actually reverse psychoticism for chills. But either way, I'm gonna work through my own
Drink
craziness.
some tea.
I
The
got
fuck?
tea. Oh, trust me, and I got some tea that I'm gonna be spilling about Meg Thee Stallion too.
Oh
That's coming
no.
up soon. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it here, okay? Because everybody's gonna say,
Ooh,
"Oh,
hot topics.
you're only saying it because you want to talk about something huge." No,
Huge.
I ain't,
Huge.
I ain't Donald Trump, bitch.
Huge.
Let me say that this show's gonna keep you laughing through the coronas, but let me just say, and I'm gonna preface it with Meg Thee Stallion. You know I like you. I like you. I love your energy. Whenever I see you,
Very likable.
you're a very likable person. Whether I see you on Instagram or I've seen you in person, I haven't seen her in person that often. I've talked to you on FaceTime. I've seen you talk text message. The last text message she said was, "I'm gonna call you back, friend." Well, she ain't called me back, and it's cool. And I don't think of Meg Thee Stallion as a friend. But let me tell you how I met Meg Thee Stallion.
How?
There was this looming perception that her and Cardi B were going to have problems because
Oh
of
no, you told us this. How you saw them
Mhm.
backstage and then connected them and
I saw
Yeah, you
Meg
did
Thee
that.
Stallion backstage,
yeah.
Okay.
and then I FaceTimed and put her on the phone with Cardi.
Yeah.
They had their moment, made sure everything was cool. They talked about doing music together. Her people got my number. Yo, we help us make this happen. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna help y'all make that happen, but I need to get my publishing because I ain't
Yeah.
doing shit for free. I don't give a fuck about a hot girl summer, and I don't give a fuck about. I want my money.
Yeah. Well, that
Well,
hot girl summer's been put on hold. That's for sure. But
but
go
my
on.
thing, but my thing is that why you drop your album and only 40,000 copies sold, and you on the cover of Marie Claire, but you ain't been on Hollywood Unlocked. Ain't no white girls cooking in the kitchen on Marie Claire buying your shit. But the people watching this show are your people, and that's the problem with celebrities. She's with Rock Nation. Her manager Christy misguiding her career. Don't return a phone call. Then you got her publicist, whoever that is, probably some white chick telling she's gonna be somebody by being on the cover of Marie fucking Claire. I have a problem with that. But this is this is the shit that consumers are buying into. Go to Meg Thee Stallion's Instagram right now and ask her, girl, why are you not on a show that's being seen by million or heard by millions of people all across the country and you on the cover of Marie Claire? Who is Marie Claire? What
Well,
and you wait, and you
hold on
know
one
what else?
second
Hold on.
here.
And
Let's
I
just
went
okay.
and I went to the and I
Mhm.
went to the store, Melissa, because
Mhm.
I said maybe
So went to the store.
Did you have a mask
Melissa.
on? Did you have a hazmat suit on when you went to
all
the
of that,
store?
all of that. I said, let me go and see exactly
Fuck
what's happening on the
Jason.
cover of this Marie Claire, because maybe it's helping her sell albums. And guess what? She ain't even on this week's cover. That's how fast the industry forgets about you.
No.
Wow.
That's the last month's cover. Trust me. If
Right.
I
And that's what
wait,
they're gonna
let me show you something. Let me show you
Wait,
something.
Melissa,
Let me show
you
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 something.
read Marie Claire?
Boom. And this isn't even
Oh,
fucking planned, people. This is literally one of my favorite magazines. It just is. I think that the two things are mutually exclusive concepts. I do think that Meg, you should come on our show.
Meg,
We are
come on,
fucking fans of yours. I personally love
bring it,
the shit
Meg,
out of you. So
bring
come
it.
on our show.
I'm not
However,
begging her to come
I'm
We're
I'm
here.
not
not I'm
begging
not
her.
begging her. I'm
We're
telling
not
her that
begging.
we want her on the show.
I'm begging
But
a little bit.
besides that, kudos on your fucking Marie Claire cover. I love Marie Claire. It is a magazine that is beloved by a lot of women, regardless of color, regardless of ethnicity and nationality. It doesn't matter. Age, we all love Marie Claire, so that was a good move.
So, so,
However, you
so
should still
Melissa,
come on our show.
Melissa, where's your iPhone? Do you have it near you? Pull it up.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Where's her album? Where the fuck is her album? Let me see it. Put a song on right now.
What?
He's saying you don't
Where's the
have the new
song?
album.
I
Marie
didn't know it
Claire.
was. I
Marie
didn't. I didn't know it was out.
Marie
I didn't know it
Claire
was out.
ain't selling no motherfucking songs. That's the problem. You motherfuckers got it wrong. You need somebody to do your PR. Come to Hollywood Unlocked. I know I sound
Okay.
like Suge Knight.
Now
Let me
hold.
help you with your shit.
Okay, now hold on one second here.
Jason Knight.
As a woman in this industry, Meg is emerging as a fashionista. Okay, we love everything about her. We love her hair. We love her nails. We love her
Cardi
body.
B dropped 255,000 copies first week, and she came on our show.
Okay, I am not. I am just trying to tell you the reasons why she probably did Marie Claire. It is important as a woman, a young woman emerging in this industry, as with as many eyeballs on her as Meg is. The fashion component is a huge component.
Okay,
Doing the
let me
covers of women's magazines is extremely important. That's all I'm saying, is that this is a mutually exclusive. It's a
Okay,
mutually exclusive concept,
Megan.
far and away from the album sales and coming on the show.
Let me
That's all I'm
call
saying.
let me call Marc Jacobs or Christian Louboutin. That's fashion. She posts for
Megan.
Fashion Nova. Get the fuck out of here.
Wait,
Megan,
what?
come on this show. We represent the culture. We love you. You can sit next to me. Don't worry about Jason. Come sit next to me, all right?
I
Come on the
don't.
show. Sit next to me.
I wouldn't give a fuck if she sat on a pony and fucking blew bubbles on her way to fucking Coachella. All I'm saying is
That would actually look really cute.
That
Marie
would be fire.
Claire, and I don't hate Meg Thee Stallion. I wish her all
We
the
know. We
success.
know.
We know she getting fucked already from her last deal, so she already got something to talk about, and she did her run with everybody but us. And look, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Even if they don't come, because here's my whole thing. I am now resolute on the fact that I'm going to keep it more real now. I'm just gonna. Look it.
More real?
My coronavirus symptoms have evaporated because the adrenaline, by being honest, has freed me from the confines of the corona.
I feel very free too. Free enough to show up to work wearing my bathrobe.
Oh,
I
that's
knew
what
this
that
was the
is?
only chance I was going to be able to do something like this.
That's all
And
right.
one last thing. Let this cover be an example. Here today, gone tomorrow.
It's last month's cover.
Anyway,
It
no.
is. It's like it's the March cover, dude.
1 month you're hot, the next month you're not. Okay, I
It
haven't heard.
could be
Listen,
like that also.
last year we had several of not even last year. Yeah, last year we had several of the rappers, female rappers in hip hop that have mattered to the culture. All of
Mhm.
which came on. Not one said that we couldn't ask questions. Not one left feeling hurt. All of them left saying they were great interviews. I'm not
That's true.
defending what we do because I talked to Joe Budden yesterday, day before yesterday on Quarantine Chronicle,
Yeah.
Mhm.
On Hollywood Unlocked. And
Hmm.
the thing that Joe and I both bonded over was ownership. Melissa, you and I talked about that the other day, owning our
Hmm.
own platforms.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Damage, you have your own. Melissa, you have your own. I have
Hmm.
Hollywood Unlocked. But
Hmm.
and Joe Budden has the podcast. And look at how free and successful we're all able to be and flourishing without the restrictions of the industry politics.
Yeah,
If Meg
that's
Thee Stallion never comes here, I ain't gonna give two fucks because guess what? We're still going to keep it moving.
okay. Let's just give her a little bit of a break for still
Nah,
being
son.
very.
Nah, son. Nah, son. But now all those crocodile tears she was crying on Instagram about how she got fucked over when she signed a deal that she was hungry enough to get into. Nah, son. Nobody gets a
You
pass
sound like me
anymore.
right now. Nah, son.
Nah.
Nobody gets a pass anymore. You know why? Because this whole coronavirus experience is showing us all that we need each other.
Hmm.
It's
Mm.
a symbiotic thing.
Nah, yeah,
Like what
I agree with that.
whether you're Jeff Bezos or a homeless person, whether
Yeah.
you're Hollywood Unlocked or Meg Thee Stallion, or whether you're a homeless person and the president of the United States, we are all equalized in this experience. We all need each other.
No,
This is
I
true.
listen, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, like, me being in this industry, it has been an uphill battle to get certain publications to pay any kind of fucking attention to me because they don't think that I have the pedigree of which they respect or value. I didn't go to an HBCU. I was born and raised in Toronto and went to school there. I didn't pledge AKA. I didn't go to fucking Jack and Jill. So that means that certain magazines aren't going to pay any attention to me and
What
don't pay any
are they
attention
trying
to
to say
me.
you're not black enough? What does that mean? Why did you
I
have to
don't
go to
know.
an
I don't.
HBCU?
No, no, no. I don't think that it's a black enough thing. I think because people like to remind me, just because you got a white mother, Melissa, you are a black girl. It's like I don't. It's not even race politics. It's elitism. That's what it
Mm.
is. It is. You are not our kind. You don't have the pedigree of which we respect. And I'm just like, who the fuck came in and made you people the morality police? So I feel you on that, Jason. Like, in this industry, it is about symbiotic relationships. It's not about thinking like that, you're above me or I'm above you. At some point we need each other.
I mean, like, look, this is not even about Meg the Stallion per se. This is just again, it was refreshing to talk to Joe about ownership and
Yeah.
control and not having to succumb to politics. We love the fact that we don't have to talk to people that we don't want to talk to. Nobody
Hmm.
sends somebody in front of us that you have to talk to these people. But I just feel like again, you know, if you know me and you know that I tend to not necessarily be a fan of a lot of people, and I use the first time meeting you to try to make sure that the air is clear between you and the girl who's at the top of the rap game right now, the minimal thing you should think about when it's time to do a radio run is I gotta stop by Hollywood Unlocked. And that I think
Hmm.
is missing where people feel like we need them. We don't need anybody to have an opinion about them on this show. And
Hmm.
that's where I think again, if we were to say there was a need, the need would be we need each other, but there
Hmm.
isn't there isn't an imbalance to where we won't survive without them. That's what I guess I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's agreed.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Meg, I hope
Meg,
you
come
hear
on the show.
this. Come on the show. We want to hear from you. You hear how Jason feels. You got to support your own. We do it for the culture. Come through.
These coons don't support their own. That's not what they do. All they want is for white people and white media to suck their dicks. And you know what? The sad part is they spit you out faster than they can chew you. I've
Can,
seen stars. Hold on. Let me
mhm.
last thing and I'm
No,
gonna
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
last thing and I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I've seen Queen Latifah 27 years in the game stay at the top. Rise and then get to the top,
Mm.
stay there and stay humble. These flavor of the month rappers, that's why even Kodak Black begging to get out of prison. Fuck you. Like you have no respect for Lauren London, Nipsey. So why would we care? I just gotta feel like there's just no there's no type of I don't even know what the word is. Like, you don't even think about like, yo, this motherfucker looked out for me, so I'm gonna look out for you. Or this motherfucker, I'm gonna give this person respect.
Alliance.
I don't even know if it's alliance. I don't even know what the word is. I'm done. I'm off
You
my
want to know
soapbox.
what's so, you want to know what's so crazy on the flip side of that, and then we'll go into hot topics because it's you brought up 6ix9ine and he's being
Kodak.
given an early release due to Corona. But what's funny is that from where I my personal experience is I've been fighting to get into and acknowledged by Black publications. You know what I mean? Like the female Black publications.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that my publicist has no problem pitching me to are the white publications. Like it's such in reverse where I'm like, I'm trying to get my
So
own
like, what Black
people.
publication hasn't like been responsive?
Um,
Like Ebony?
Essence,
Essence? Okay.
big one,
But do
big
you
one.
think Essence is still mad at you from the time you called out the editor in chief?
Mm.
I didn't really call out the editor in chief. What I did was I called out their hypocrisy.
Hmm.
I called out their hypocrisy
For
about
people that don't know, can you refresh their memory?
Um, it's a really funny story actually. I was being interviewed by somebody by a writer for I think Vibe magazine, and it was a taped recording interview. And what I thought were off the record conversation was an off the record conversation because this girl actually happened to have been my former assistant. Oh, she printed my off the record conversation, fucking little bitch.
What?
I love her. Her name's Tracy G. She's on Sway in the Morning Show. I love her to this day. It took a second. It took a second to forgive her for that shit. But it you know what it did is it
Wait, but what
put.
did you say? Tell the people what you said, because I actually enjoyed the fact that, and that's why I keep trying to tell y'all. See, Melissa be up here trying to think about how y'all all gonna think, because she really wants the women to feel represented in a way that isn't sliding you or whatsoever. But sometimes you got to say some shit that's real shit to get people's attention. And I felt like this interview, you said what probably a lot of women at the time were thinking. Did they have a white editor in chief at the time?
Yeah, they did. Or she wasn't black. That was for sure.
Essence
But
magazine?
yeah, and the other thing at the time was the thing was like so let me just say what I said. I basically highlighted the fact that the people that they put up on the highest pedestal and keep putting on their cover over and over and over again, and they keep on placing this enormous amount of value on a certain type of woman but disregarding a whole other type. I was just like I used the example of Naomi Campbell. Now don't get me wrong, I love Naomi Campbell.
Love her.
Naomi Campbell's anger management issues are well documented. This is a woman that has physically abused her staff, but yet she snaps her fingers. She can be on the cover of Essence magazine. Now, some people were like, oh, Melissa's mad. She never got on the cover of Essence. No, that's not necessarily it, because there's other women that I know that they have acted like they didn't exist either. Women that are worthy of coverage. They're contributing members of society into their communities and all about women empowerment. So I'm just like, so when is a magazine that's supposed to be, for us, by us, going to acknowledge our existence? And so that's basically the point that I made. And a lot of people agreed with me, but the question came up: is Melissa Ford the one who should even be having this conversation? And I'm just like, I'm the perfect fucking person to be having this conversation. And you want to know what's also very interesting about Essence magazine is they actually employ the girl from the reality show that tried to kill me. So I thought that was really interesting that she's employed by them. But I digress.
Woo!
Do you think that's why they don't fuck with you, because of her?
Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess
But
is as good as mine. But
but that's the thing.
what I do know after this conversation is if they never cover me or never invite me to do anything, I really, 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 really at this point just I cannot continue to care. I'm only going to continue to communicate and represent for the people that are a part of my tribe. And if they don't accept me or welcome me or think of me as one of theirs, well, then they're lost, because I'm
And the
doing really
way
good things for other people.
And the way that you feel about Essence is the way that I feel about Meg Thee Stallion or anybody else who thinks that we need to kiss their ass or whatever, play the politics in order to have them on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just that whole idea that you have to wonder why, as a Black woman who's thriving, nationally syndicated, having your own show, having this show, having done what you've done for the culture, have to somehow question why it's not being, acknowledged is interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, it is really interesting, because I mean, even if you didn't want to cover me, if you don't want to acknowledge shit, like the fact of the matter is that on this show, and then the fact that we're nationally syndicated, and then on I'm Here for the Food. I mean, I just interviewed Shaka Sangor, who actually is a columnist for Essence magazine. His book, Righting My Wrongs: Life, Death, and Redemption in an American Prison. I've interviewed Michael Eric Dyson, Marcia Dyson. These are people that they hold in high regard. I'm having very introspective, conversations that actually are helping people's lives. This is a contribution I'm making to not only my community but to society. But I'm still chopped liver. It's cool. It's super cool. Like I can't allow myself to be upset about it anymore, that this particular media outlet and whoever that gatekeeper is, I'm sorry if your man had a picture of me on his wall and he jerked off to it. I'm fucking sorry. It is what it is. But
Wow.
I can't solve the sometimes it's an insecurity thing. I don't know. It's a mystery to me, and it'll continue to be a mystery to me. But fuck it, I'm over it.
No, but with that being said, I have some iconic women on this wall. I need a photo of you on my wall, actually, Melissa. It's only right to have you sign it. This
I
has
will
to be
get
done.
you one of those. I will get
Are you taking the pictures? Print one of the pictures you took and have her sign that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's speak about other iconic women of color: Kim Kardashian and Kourtney Kardashian.
You're fucking hilarious.
I mean, listen.
Hilarious.
At this point with the bronzer, I don't even know what color they are in real life, but I will say, before we get into the story, shout out to Kim Kardashian West, who actually has a really good show on Oxygen now, where she's going into the prisons that she's working to get people out of.
Love it.
And it is a different Kim Kardashian. She's clothed from the neckline to the toe line, and it's not about her beauty whatsoever. She had a chipped nail on the show.
No, she didn't.
Yes.
Not the chip nail.
Breaking news: a broken nail.
Wow.
I mean, I guess that's just her way of connecting with that audience. But anyway,
wow.
Yeah, so they're in the news.
Yeah, okay. So I know everybody's seen this because we're all online. So the Kardashians, was it season 56 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Season 18.
Season 18 premiere featured a fist fight between Kim and Kourtney. Part 1 and part 2 on IG showed the two of them throwing bows.
We're online. Just take a look.
Stop. Never! Guys, stop it! Dig your nails in me. You guys, stop! Kourtney! Kourtney! You guys, stop it! Don't do that to each other. Are you guys okay? What on earth?
That fight was way more intense than I thought it was going to be. Like,
now hold on a second here. Listen, we gotta break down the fight, okay? Because at one point, we're not
reenacting the fight. I refuse.
We're not gonna reenact the fight. We just gotta break down, do like a little bit of it. So Kim charges at Kourtney, okay, and Kim physically is a little bit bigger than Kourtney's, like a wafy little thing. However, she got one good slap into Kim, and Kim's face bounced off the wall, and there's all makeup. I'm sorry, it was really funny. And then,
I didn't feel like it was going to be a real fight, but she slapped the shit out of her. Like that really happened.
10 minutes later, you see fucking Chloe wiping the shit off her wall, and Kim's in the mirror fixing her face and making sure that everything is still where it's supposed to be.
I think it is an atrocity to see women fighting like that. I think that women need to love each other a little more, less fighting. Plus, all the girls in my neighborhood who used to fight, ain't no fight if titties ain't hanging out. So it wasn't necessarily that much of a fight.
They're siblings too.
So it wasn't just I was about to damage. You're right.
Like, I fight with my brother. I'm sure I fought with my big sister at one point. Like, siblings fight. So when I seen it, it was normal. But I didn't know it was going to go to the level where people getting the shit slapped out of them. Like, she really slapped the shit out of Kim. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be fake.
Definitely not condoning violence. However, if
No.
you have a sibling, you know that you have grabbed that motherfucker's head and farted on it at some point in your life, okay? Like siblings, they fight, they go at it. There's sometimes tensions got to be released. They've been doing this show for like 500 years, and Courtney has visibly kind of checked out. Like she's
Yeah.
tired of being called the boring one. She's tired of being told, you don't work as hard as the rest of us. She was fucking fed up. And Kim was usually the one to, lead the, like lead the charge in like making all those disparaging comments towards Courtney. And she was like, I've had it. Okay.
Well, listen, I thought it was great entertainment, and I like when Courtney was about to pull up on Chloe, and Chloe said, "All right, bitch, I'll whoop your ass." Shout out to her. Shout out to Black China, who clearly threw shade on Instagram, at least apparent shade. I don't know, but I did want to talk about something that's not in the notes today because I
Mm,
know people have been trying to pay me to talk about this, and it's the Ayana Mayweather and NBA
Young boy.
YoungBoy situation.
Oh
Let me
Lord.
say let me say this, and I'm going to try to be very careful in how I say this because I'm a little too close to the situation. Floyd is a really close friend of mine, close supporter of Hollywood Unlocked and Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored.
I haven't even asked you about that shit.
Well, a lot of people have asked me, and
Yeah.
I felt like it was inappropriate for me to talk about it, but I can't do what I do and not talk about it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I haven't talked to Floyd about this because I just feel like it's one of those things I'll wait for him to bring up if he wants to bring it up. Him and I are going to do an interview at some point soon, or he'll come back on the
Mm-hmm.
show. But I'll
Mm-hmm.
say, Floyd has been on our show twice, and I've interviewed Floyd probably 4 or 5 times. And every
Mm-hmm.
single time that we've talked to him, we've said how he's a good father. He is a
Mm-hmm.
person who was not raised the best, who became a very successful athlete, who then became a great father and provided for his children. I remember the first time I met Ayana, she told me she had to change her jewelry because it didn't match her outfit, and I was thinking, "Ooh, that's different." Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying that the money has been the thing. I think it's the time. It's the fact that he's prepared her to take over his empire. And I've seen him talk to his kids and be there for them. And I know that there's been many times that I've seen Ayana getting close to NBA YoungBoy, and I've called Floyd with my own concerns. And I know he shared those concerns, and we've talked about it. And I've done my best to try to tell Ayana, like, yo, you're a beautiful young girl. You have a big future ahead of you. You have a lot to be grateful for. This is probably not the best situation for you. And I know she's probably going to be mad that I'm saying this, but I've said that privately. This last week has been so crazy
Yeah.
because that whole saying that the warning comes before destruction,
Yeah.
and it's not taking heed to those warnings that lead you to where she is right now. I
Mm-hmm.
got the news that she allegedly stabbed this girl, and I haven't talked to Yaya and I haven't talked to Floyd about it. But if that in fact happened, now it's real. Now it's not
Mm-hmm.
even about the other girls or the kids or the herpes or the this or the that. Now it's about your freedom and your father and his legacy and what
Hmm.
you're representing to the public. And I just kind of feel like it's so sad, and I feel bad for everybody involved. And then I looked at Kodak Black's live where he was talking shit, and he had talked shit about Floyd, called Floyd her bitch ass daddy. And I'm thinking, like, this is the
That,
same bitch
that,
ass
that wasn't Kodak. That wasn't Kodak.
That
That was
was that was
sorry,
Young
NBA.
boy.
Yeah.
Young
NBA
boy.
YoungBoy. Thank you. Sorry, NBA
Yeah.
YoungBoy. Okay, I get all these animals mixed up.
Oh fuck.
But the fact that he said your bitch ass daddy when
That was wild.
you asked Floyd to pay for half of the house that your wife was gonna live in. You asked her bitch ass daddy for her hand in marriage, and he supported you. Floyd ain't never gonna come out and defend himself. And I ain't even asked him if I could put this out. But Floyd gave you permission
Mm.
to marry his daughter, even though he may not necessarily be a fan of yours. And now you disrespect him like that. And for Yaya to sit there and let him disrespect her dad, I was so disappointed. And I'm still disappointed. But I don't know. Did you guys see all this play out? Because
When he woke her up and he said all that, she looked afraid, to be honest, and that's really my big concern. She looks afraid. I don't know what's going on in that situation. I don't like speaking on things I don't know about, but she is a young lady. I don't know if y'all know, Young Boy is one of the biggest artists for that generation. He's huge. He's the number one stream artist on YouTube. He's really a massive thing in that generation. So I
I
don't know
couldn't tell
what's
you a
going
single thing
on.
he sings, but go on.
Exactly. But I know for that generation of people like Money Yaya and everybody that's younger, he's like, honestly,
He's their
Their
Tupac.
Jay-Z.
he's not. He's like their Little Wayne. You know, I don't want to just
Okay.
throw names
Okay.
around loosely, but he is a huge artist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the lore, but I did see some fear in her eye, and I'm just like, I hope somebody's able to go over there and just see if she's okay. Because is she being, you know what I'm saying? Like these domestic situations, they go so many different ways. So I
Let
don't
me
know.
tell you, let me tell you, let me tell you. Like, I can transport myself right back to the thought process and the mentality I had as a young girl of 18 and 19 and 20 years old in love.
Mm-hmm.
The hormones, the emotion. I remember it like it was yesterday. Like, of course I have logic and reasoning and experience to go off of now that I'm an adult and a seasoned adult, but I've been seasoned by these experiences and these fucked up experiences. And when I was her age, I was involved with somebody who was, a little handsy, and a little aggressive and stuff like that. And in all honesty, it sounds fucked up, but it's part of the allure. Sometimes girls process that as he cares. He wouldn't yell and scream at me. He wouldn't, physically put his hands on me if he didn't love me so much. It sounds crazy, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that this is what they think. And I will also say that domestic violence status, socioeconomic status, race, how much money you have or don't have, none of that plays in. It's a non fucking factor. Anybody can be a victim. And it sounds crazy
Absolutely.
having a father like Floyd. How could this happen to her? But I mean, we can really like push our family and our friends away if they're, you know, if, if that's what is happening in our household. If the person that you love is, basically trying to isolate you away from your friends and family, the ones that love you, you're probably going to do that. You're probably going to go along with it. That could be what you're seeing damage, and that will be why you're disappointed, Jason. But I mean, I have a different level of understanding of this, and
Yeah.
I pray she she gets a really big moment of clarity
Yeah.
and sees this relationship for what it actually is.
And you never want to be in a
That's just my 2
situation
cents.
where you in so deep now, you have permanent scars like the alleged stabbing. That's something that's going to be on your record. That's a permanent scar. So
Yeah.
even if you move out of this situation, you have something that lingers. So, I mean, like I said, she looked afraid. Every time I see them two on his live and I see her face, it doesn't look like she's like screaming and supporting him. She looks like she's afraid. So, that
Mhm.
bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
And she loves him too, but I would say that, like, and again, I'm gonna handle this delicately because I'm too close to the people. And I
Hmm.
love Yaya, I love Floyd, I care about their family. I check on her mom via her mom, Melissa, who loves her also. She's a
Mhm.
grown woman now, and she's gonna
Mhm.
make grown decisions. But I will tell you, had that knife punctured the girl's lung and she died, this would be a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it
And
would be.
Insane.
again, I feel like, she got jumped already. She got jumped on in Houston or in
Mhm.
Texas. That
Mhm.
was a warning. Now you allegedly stabbed somebody. It's like it's increasingly getting worse. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're doing all this for a man who had another woman in his bed that led you to the act is a sign. It is a big hazard sign with blinking lights. And there's a man out there like on the plains where he's doing this, showing you that
Forrest Gump is running by,
you're going the wrong direction. And you know what? All I can do is what Melissa said, and is pray for her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Only she's going to be able to be the one that
yeah,
consciously gets herself out of this. She has got to
Hmm.
mentally disengage. And it takes a lot of time to mentally disengage from somebody who may, be an abuser, which, even if he never puts his hands on her, which is hard to believe, and it's just, like it's just verbal abuse. That in itself is extremely traumatizing, and that can imprison you, And so I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day where victims of domestic violence, if it's mental, physical, or emotional, there's a window of time of which you have to spend away from your abuser to even be able to see clearly. And I don't think that she's allowing herself to even do that. So it really is just like prayers you've got to send her way to that she finds this moment of clarity, to see the forest for the trees.
Well,
Otherwise, who knows what's going to happen?
and I think Yaya needs to remember one thing, and I say this to women all the time, women in the industry. You are the prize. We do
Mm-hmm.
not talk about NBA YoungBoy at Hollywood Unlocked until he's dating Floyd's daughter. He did
Mm-hmm.
a song saying fucking on your favorite athlete's daughter. How is that even respectful? That's no way
Yeah,
any type of
that's different.
that's not
That's
an
so different.
honor. That's not an honor. That's a disrespect. And it is, and he's smart. These people who work on who do social media, YouTube and Instagram and all, they know how to get us all talking because they fuck with the Amber Roses, they fuck with the Melissa Fords, they fuck with the Caruccis. Nobody's talking about Victor Cruz in the blogs, but they talk about him now because he's dating Carucci. That
Mm-hmm.
is, I hope the thing that Ayana gets, that she is the prize. He's not the
Oh
prize
yeah.
because he's the big dog on YouTube. You're the prize, and I
Oh
hope that
yeah.
you see that
Oh
value in yourself.
Oh yeah, she needs to take a she needs to like right there. Victor Cruz is a perfect example. Like he has put Karuchi on a pedestal. That is his queen, and she reflects the happiness. Like she is constantly smiling. She is glowing. She's in a very happy relationship, and we can only hope the same thing for Yaya.
And
But
I hope that people will remember she's a young girl. So be easier on
yeah,
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
be easier on
yeah,
social media, be more have the same outlook I think that Melissa had, that Damage had, about think about what she's going through. Think about her mindset, not be so quick to destroy her or attack her because she
yeah.
is a young girl that's
Just have a little bit
making
more
reckless decisions.
compassion. Yeah,
Yeah.
just have a little bit. At this
They're
point, we
both
should.
children. That's the
Yeah,
sad part. They're both kids.
yeah. At this point, everybody should have a lot of compassion for each and every one of us. Like we're all going through it. You know what I'm saying? So just have a little compassion for the fact that she's 19 years old. She's in love with somebody that may not be the best
He's
person for her.
23 with 4 kids.
Okay, so can we go on with hot
Okay,
topics?
so listen, really quick, I guess we have next week's show is Dame Dash. We're going to be interviewing
Mm-hmm.
him in a second, but Nene Leaks and Wendy they made the blogs yesterday.
Yeah, they
Oh
did.
yeah.
So I was watching Wendy's show from home, her and Norman, and Wendy was talking about the fact that Nene Leakes had called her on a FaceTime call, and Wendy was distraught and just confused by the fact that Nene had tried to do this because she was under the assumption that Nene was filming Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Wendy went so far as to say that she wasn't going to pick it up because I am not the sidekick of a housewife. I have built this incredible empire. I've been in this business for 35 years. I
Which
am
is
not
a
the
fact. Which is a fact.
It is a fact. It is a fact. But what doesn't seem to be a fact is that it seems Nene did not have a full house, which is what Wendy assumed she had. She only had her son there, and that she wasn't filming for Real Housewives of
But she
Atlanta
was
at the
live
time.
on Instagram to thousands of people.
Oh, but she was live on Instagram. Okay. Well, whatever happened, there seems to be some kind of confusion between what was happening, but Nene turned to Instagram to say, I am not going to discuss Wendy like how she discussed me. Friends don't air each other out. So the conversation I have with her will be in private. So don't ask me about it. Um, but,
I did
child,
Yeah.
like that about Nene though, her response. I did like how
it was classy.
she
It
And
was
I
held it
classy.
down,
Jason, what
said
do you
that's still
think?
my friend. What I got from that was like, look, even though we got this going on, that's still my dog. I'm gonna hold it down. We gonna talk. But she didn't
Yeah.
try to, take the low road and to throw shots back or whatever. So I did respect that about Nene.
Yeah.
well, I called Wendy to tell her she said that on Instagram, and I just had Nene on Quarantine Chronicles. I like Wendy and I like Nene. Let's just say, for example, I get okay, I'll use an example right now. You guys know I've said on the show I'm building a new relationship with Serena Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I call Serena Williams on the phone, on speakerphone while I'm on live on Hollywood Unlocked to ask her to go live with me, that's not right. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not right. Now somebody like a Wendy and like a me, Melissa, or even
Mm-hmm.
like a you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If I call
I get it.
damage on if I call damage on the phone on speakerphone while I'm on live, damage isn't a reckless person. He's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like, "What's up?" or "I'm busy" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If I call you could
Mm-hmm.
say anything. Imagine if Wendy Wendy's never said anything negative about Ellen, but say she would have answered the phone, she'd say, Wendy, what you doing, girl? and Wendy, who's known to say anything, said, watching this white bitch Ellen.
But I
front page national news.
I do agree. All of us that work in entertainment, if we're going to be on live on any platform and call somebody, you let them know, like, hey, just before you say anything, I'm on live.
Like, I'm going to call you on speakerphone and I'm on IG live, so don't say anything fucking crazy. Yeah.
Especially somebody that's big. Both of them. Nene, if I was to call Nene, same way, like, Nene, I'm live right now. Before you even say hello, just want to ask if you want to go live with me. So I do understand that.
Now, this is the second time. Again, this is me being objective. I like both women, but this is the second time they've not been on the same page. Remember, Wendy went on her show and said that they were racially profiled at Bergdorf's while they were shopping in New York. And then Nene went on Watch What Happens Live and said she don't know what happened. She didn't see nothing. And then Marlo went and did an interview with Essence and said that Wendy had said it in the moment. So there's been a moment already where they haven't been on the same page. And I'm praying for the friendship because both are very outspoken women and both have platforms and both really don't give a fuck if shit goes downhill. But I would just say, to the point of calling somebody on video or on the phone without advance notice and on live, I mean, that's dangerous. And I'm already a person who doesn't care about what I say, but I don't want to be thinking that this is why I did take out of Floyd's book and I do damage. I FaceTime you, Melissa. I FaceTime you. Because I need to see who over there. What we talking about?
Nobody over here. I get it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's two superstars right there. And like I said, I love Nene's response because she didn't go and say something smart. She was like, we're going to talk. So we're not going to address this here. And we're going to talk. And then she still made it seem like there was a friendship there. I like that because they've been friends for so long. So
Nene also made it clear that she does not fight with anybody over social media unless she's getting paid for it. So, bloop.
Well, but that was also a like shady way of talking about it without talking about it. Like Nene know what the fuck she doing. And if you haven't seen Quarantine Chronicles, go to HollywoodUnlocked.com, look up Nene's episode because she actually did her live with me while she walked through her extravagant mansion talking about the slums of the people at the Real Housewives of Atlanta that she has to work with. When Wendy says she's not going to slum it with a housewife, I had to throw my phone down. It was too much.
I know.
Slum it is like
my house.
You're not. We can go on that note, okay? But keep coming back. We'll be here and go to HollywoodUnlocked.com. Leave comments. YouTube. We read them. I'm gonna stop reading comments at some point. I have to.
Yeah.
It's making my anxiety. I feel the anxiety coming up right now.
Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
And also, for those of you that think this is where the culture lives.
Oh my God, Jason, did you?
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
What up, YouTube? Thank you for watching this reckless show.
Yeah, and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.
And also don't forget to share and leave a comment because we are reading.